Welcome to Pax Europiana about my call for peace in Ukraine and for victory in Ukraine. But let's prepare. It's a very long war. It will not be a short war. It will not be over on the 9th of May. We are already at war with Russia or Russia with us since 2014. 2022 is the escalation and it will continue. It will continue. We are not going to have a peace now, suddenly agreement, miracle, peace and happiness. We are in a long-term confrontation with Russia and we have to solve that strategically. Strategically, economically, we have to win that. And similar like the Cold War, it's now a hot war, but we have to win it economically. We need to, first of all, decouple completely from the Russian economy. Also the gas. Mr. Harald Maher, the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Austria, said it's the red line. No, it must be the red line that this is included. You know, it's absolutely necessary after the oil embargo to have the 7th sanction package where we also will exclude the Russian gas from the market. It's now much better to prepare for that. And we can technically do that, and we can economically do that, and we have to share the costs fairly with all of us together. This is the way to do it, and I will explain it in this video. But first of all, prepare for the long war. Secondly, exclude Russia economically fully. No uranium, no gas. How to do it? It's technically complicated both, I understand, and the way the EU decisions are done needs to be inclusive. Good, so how we do it? We do it quite simple. We basically use, as it is already done in coal for the summer, for gas for the end of the year, in the more complicated factors like gas and uranium. Uranium needs technical adaptation in the sites and also to find a replacement. We will do it like this, that we will do it again on the timeline. So by the end of 2023, that seems to be very long. I'm also much faster for the cutoff. But let's make first the decision. The decision that we leave gas and the uranium must be done now until the May summit. And then we do some kind of, until it's finally the point zero for Russian energy in 2023 December. So it is enough time and we can still feel it is not the same effect, obviously, like cutting Russia immediately off. I would prefer that, but also let's be realistic now when we see how the decisions are taken. But at least let's take the decision. Let's take the decision for the end of gas and the uranium by the year 2023. And we are almost 2 years now for that. So within 2 years we can certainly do it, and not 2027 or something crazy, which some politicians are saying, but cut it off within the next basically 1.5 years, if you want to make it correct in the numbers. Yeah? And that's absolutely feasible. We can also manage the next winter together with Russian gas. We can also then find supply and technical adaptations of the existing nuclear projects. But let's not build new nuclear projects with Russia. The Finnish have stopped. Let's stop also the project PAX, the Russian project in Hungary. And also Slovakia, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, and who else has some Russian projects inherited from the Soviet Union. Let's get rid of that and let's make tenders. Let's reform it into American and French and German projects. We have the technology for that one. And let's do it with our technology. No to Russian uranium and Russian gas and Russian nuclear technology in the European Union, and also not in the future European Union. That means the enlarged one. That's the first point here I want to make. Yeah? Secondly, the second point is, of course, strategically the enlargement. Of course, Ukraine must be in NATO. Of course, Ukraine must be in the EU. Of course, the Balkan 6 must be in the EU and NATO. And of course, Moldova and Georgia must be in the EU and NATO. And how to make that very fast is, of course, with the euro as currency. It's so logical. The currency is now fixed under martial law in Ukraine at 29 to the dollar, and so that's it's good for the moment. But of course, the Ukrainian economy, by some estimation, has lost half of its output, maybe less, maybe more. Who really knows in the war-torn situation? And then the currency will drop again, and it has dropped already from 8 to the dollar to 29, and in the last since the war, it was still at 8 to the dollar pegged. Yeah. That was, of course, unrealistic. Then we had now this martial law at 29, and how low you want to leave it. I mean, it's a total disaster currency policy already, and I'm totally criticizing. So let's do it like in Montenegro and in Kosovo, introduce the euro in Ukraine. And by the way, everywhere in the new periphery, future accession country, in the Balkans and in Moldova and Georgia. And of course, everywhere, this is the euro to do that, and this is the tool. Then also the EU 37, I made many videos about that one, and we can do it in 2029, but we need now to make the decisions. Mrs. Edstadler and some Austrian politicians are against it because they are afraid of the costs or bought by Russia or whatever kind of lack of confidence in their own institutions. That's all pretty wrong. So we need to overcome this kind of resistance, and we need to enlarge NATO, we need to enlarge the EU. If we don't allow Ukraine in NATO, then the EU will be the sole guarantee for the security of Ukraine. That, I think, is really very difficult in reality. And if we anyhow, the Americans are securing Ukraine via a direct security guarantee, why not have all European partners securing it as well? That means NATO, that means the membership of NATO, absolutely. We did it for the BRD, for the Western German state in 55, and that's the same model, and that is the model to be applied. Also, by the way, the tragic situation now that Austria is not joining NATO, while Sweden and Finland is doing that, I will also try to initiate Volksbegehren, a petition now online and maybe also technically, because that should be really done, and that's really very important to get that done. And also the peace in the Balkans, please, Ukraine, recognize Kosovo now. I mean, it was very clear for the Germans now that they ask for Serbia to recognize Kosovo. That's the European reality. And Greece and Slovakia and whatever, Cyprus, Bosnia, Moldova, Georgia, all recognize Kosovo. And let's get so ready. Then we are all 9 countries and we can join the European Union. That's the way to do these things. That's the way to make peace in the Balkans. And that's the way we need to get this done. And so that's, I think, very logically. Yeah? That's EU 37, that's the Euro for 36 countries, that's the NATO at 42. And it is now moving. We have, luckily, actually, some significant improvements, but not enough. It's still, the Germans are taking too less responsibility, too hesitant. Yeah? The French are the problem they always were. And we need, for example, as I say since years now, Schengen enlargement for Bulgaria. They are very good. Romania to be in the Eurozone, and then also in Schengen. And these are very good decisions. Why are they taking so long? Let's get these things done. And then it all makes much more sense. And then we are more united. We are also more credible. Poland, yeah, join the Eurozone. That's the way to do it. This is the way, and not to wait for years and years. And this whole disunity of Europe has led exactly to the present war. I will publish now another op-ed where I outline in great details European unity because of our own internal fragilities and xenophobic tendencies and lack of knowledge is always delayed when we don't have war. Why? Because we seemingly don't like each other. And we are unable to do things proactively because of our values, but only under immense pressure. And now we have one of the worst crises, I think, since the Czechoslovak invasion by the Warsaw Pact. Yeah? We are in that kind of very serious crisis. Yeah? Of course, okay, the Afghanistan invasion, yeah, there is many of them. But we are in a very, very serious crisis. The Russian war in Ukraine is very significant and it's a world-shaking event. So, can we please react with more unity and with more enlargement and secure these countries and not be so racist, xenophobe, protectionist, like unfortunately some of my Austrian compatriots are? And because we of course need to have the free trade agreements with India, with Africa, with Mercosur, with America, with the Gulf Cooperation Council, with Australia, of course. Of course we need them, also with ASEAN and with Pakistan. Of course we needed them for 20 years. But we blocked them for some kind of confused policies. Yeah? Yes, yeah. Of course, these agreements are anyhow regulated. Of course, the Ukrainians need to be in NATO and in EU. They are European country. They need to be safe, like Germany was in the 50s. Yeah? They need to be integrated in the European Union. What else? In the Asian Union? They have opted against the Eurasian Union led by Russia. Then they have to join our union. And Mr. Schallenberg, no, we don't need new treaties. And no, Mr. Schallenberg, we don't need to be complex new arrangements. We can, of course, make it a little bit faster, the enlargement process. But for that, we don't need any new treaty to put Ukraine in the energy union, to put Ukraine in all the institutions like the Western Balkans as observer. We don't need a new treaty for that. Yeah? We just need to do it. And you just need to call for that. All the ones calling for new treaties have understood new treaties are very complicated, so we have a big debate, so it's delayed and maybe the momentum will change or Russia will win. Yes, Mr. Schallenberg, I understood what you want to play on time, but this will be not success. That's the basic training of any kind of diplomat. When you cannot win a debate, delay it. That is Schallenberg's strategy on that one. We understood that one, yeah. But nevertheless, yeah, here is the moment for greater unity and for enlarged Europe. And it's including Ukraine. And once I have the Ukrainian flag, I will also put Ukrainian flag here. And also, please, both countries recognize each other. And everybody, please, it's time for more unity. And let's get that done. For a better, more united Europe of 37 countries, all in the euro and all with the euro. And of course, with a big package. I will outline the big 1.5 trillion package which we need now in a separate video to come in a second. Bye, thanks for now, for peace and unity.